Welcome, my name is Cassidy, and today we are sitting with Elisabethmorrowschool. Here we have with us Dr. Marek Beck, and he'll be talking to us about the school today. Could you give us a brief introduction of the Elisabethmorrowschool?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for taking the time and having me on. We are a school located in Englewood, New Jersey. We're a co-ed day school of just around 400 students. We serve students ages 2 all the way through the 8th grade.
Wow.
A big part of our mission is we really have a shared purpose is to provide exemplary academics and character development in a diverse, inclusive, child-centered community, inspiring students to be curious scholars, ethical leaders, and global citizens. I do want to mention something that really drives a lot of who we are, how we act, how we think, is something that we call the 4 C's. And it really follows the stages of personal character development. So the 4 C's for us are courtesy, consideration, cooperation, and compassion. And again, this guides the expectations for our students, for our faculty, for our families. It's something that we use in every meeting and at every interaction that we kind of promise to honor.
That's great. It's a wonderful standard to have for, again, your students and your staff. I love that it is fully encompassing and not just for the students and having that standard that way. I would like for our viewers to get to know you a little bit as well. So could you tell me about your family, yourself?
Absolutely. So I am celebrating my 27th year in education. My wife, Jacqueline, and I, we have 4 children between us. 3 of them are in college and 1 of them is still in high school. My wife's an educator as well. And I've had the opportunity to work as a teacher, as a specialist, as an administrator at several different schools on the East Coast, and also in my work as educational consultant to really serve a lot of schools across the country as well.
Becoming the head of school isn't a linear occurrence for everyone in education. How did you wind up on the administrative path?
Well, in those 27 years, the first 17 years were I was a full-time classroom teacher, and I've taught different grade levels, elementary, middle, high school, and even college. I thought early on I would be a career full-time teacher. And what started to happen over time is I really started to think a lot more about how I could affect greater change and impact more people, not just the students that were assigned to my classroom, but the teachers across the grade or across a certain content area or a division or school-wide. And over time, I was being sought after to develop curriculum, to train teachers, and I started to really have much more of a passion to focus on instructional best practices according to scientific-based teaching and learning models. And so the natural outgrowth would be to take on more of a leadership role to affect greater change. So I've since become, I've been a learning specialist across K-12. I've been a division head, and now I'm celebrating my first year as head of school.
Amazing to hear that you're so passionate about it, because that is so very important in the administrative level to make that change you were talking about especially. Obviously, personal experiences differ with each school. What would you say is your favorite experience with Elisabethmorrowschool so far?
Well, as you know, I'm in my first year here, and what attracted me to the school is what I get validated by every single day. It really is a special community. It's a community where the families are very connected. There's deep pride in what it means to be a member of the community, and the faculty, the teachers are outstanding. And so I really was seeking to be part of a well-established special community. I found that in Elisabethmorrow. And beyond the community, which is such a powerful aspect, the type of things, the learning environment that's created here really is something that stands out that from what I've seen in other schools.
It sounds like it's been a very warm welcome for you as well. And I know we're about halfway through the school year at this point, and I hope it's making really good headway for you in your first year.
Oh, absolutely. Every day I wake up and feel like I hit the jackpot. It's such a special community.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. So COVID-19 has obviously taken a big toll on staff, on students, anything like that. how has Elisabeth Morrow School tried to, make those changes and any implements that you can do to make it a little bit easier? I know you haven't been there that long, but of course, these are changes that all schools have had to make. So what's one change that you would say has been very beneficial for you?
We've been really fortunate enough that we were one of the few schools that stayed open the entire time.
Wow.
We've been able to do that because we have really great safety protocols in place, from cohorting to social distancing to mask requirements to weekly testing to requiring vaccinations. Our faculty and staff are 100% vaccinated. And we have a medical advisory group made up of 30 medical professionals. We meet twice a week to make sure we're keeping up with the trends and what the experts are saying. So we've been very lucky to manage ourselves in a way that in many ways, it's felt the same because the school has remained open, but you do feel the differences when you're distancing. Our learning environment is always highly collaborative. Students are working together often. And when you have to respect some X amount of feet apart, that definitely does make a change. One thing that we were already well suited for is our technology infrastructure. We really have state-of-the-art technologies here. And so making the shift to going through Zoom and distance learning and having our digital platforms, a lot of that was in place already. And so if anything, some of the things we might hold on to as a result of something that we leaned on more during these COVID times are how we connect with the world, an example through Zoom. So now our students can be connected if they are away. We can connect better with experts locally and around the world through Zoom in real time. And now it's a very easy transition for us to connect in a way that is something that works. And it's something that honors our mission about our students be global citizens.
It sounds like there's a lot of precautions set in place, which is, of course, so important. But what I think is really important, too, is the continuity that you've managed to keep. The kids really seem to need that. And even with closing down, all schools do their best to keep that going.
Absolutely. We're recognizing that we think probably the safest place to be is at the Elisabethmorrow School as compared to even being home or in different parts of the community. So knowing that the children are the safest they could be here is what we want. And what we recognize is the toll it's taking on students from a social, emotional perspective. So being more mindful of that, giving kids more space to make sure that they are feeling okay with themselves and feeling comfortable, and then allowing the teaching and learning to continue as always has been our highest priority.
Yeah, and I can imagine that's particularly important for your school with the age gap that you have going from 2 to about 14 probably, right, with 8th grade. So they're really at that learning age where they have to take it all in and adapt. I saw that part of your school's mission was to appreciate and celebrate diversity. Of course, Bergen County is so very diverse, and there happens to be a very large Korean American population as well in many of the different townships. What's the diversity like within your school?
It is one of also the major reasons that attracted me here. The school community is so beautifully, incredibly diverse. So our students come from 55 different towns across New Jersey and New York. Our families speak more than 20 languages, 20 different languages at home in addition to English. And we are about more than 54% of our students identify as students of color. And so we have just a rich representation of diversity in all its forms. And as I opened with and talking about how special the community is, the parents as partners as a core value really means everything to us. So not only do we recognize and celebrate our diversity, we actively seek diversity in our faculty, in our families, in our students. So when they enter into the community, it's not a matter of just being a part of it, but truly feeling like they belong. And so a lot of our curriculum is guided to our students have courses called such thing as a cultural competency course. We have affinity groups with our families. So we have Korean American families that can be part of an affinity group that just has a support structure. We have an equity and justice task force at school. Our parent association is highly connected and involved in our community. We have a diversity committee as part of our parents association. And also our board of trustees is also a highly diverse group. Within our board of trustees, we also have different committees and commissions, and we have a diversity commission as well. We have a lot of energy flowing in the same direction to make sure every student and every family belongs and has access and feels connected.
Yeah, and it's so important for them to have these outlets for interaction, so it's great that you're actively supplying them with these opportunities. Do you have any advice for Korean American families looking into your school?
I'd say just as soon as you step foot on campus, you'll be able to feel everything that I'm talking about. You'll feel the warmth, you'll feel the connectedness, and it should also start to feel familiar because we do have many Korean American families here. So there will be that community that is already built in. And just walking our beautiful campus and really get a chance to see what our curriculum is all about. We really specialize in being child-centered. We specialize in meeting students where they are and getting to know their full learning profile, in addition to their identities that make up that makes each child unique. So by personalizing the learning at that point, students that come in with a readiness to accelerate can accelerate grade levels ahead. Students that need a bit more remediation, whether it's with English language support, we have specialists built in to provide English language support. And so when you see that in action, along with a heavy project-based learning approach, what we notice is that the engagement of our students is so high, deep learning is occurring, and learning is personalized. So I would just encourage to just come on the campus to see it for yourself because it really is magical.
And every student's learning abilities are so different from one another, so it's great to hear that you have all of these different options and resources for them as well. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our Korean American viewers?
Well, I think my last statement really is an open invitation to reach out to me directly. If I may give my direct email address at mbeck@elisabethmorrow.org, but certainly you can find me on the website as well. Just reach out, have that initial conversation. We do have people on faculty that are fully fluent in Korean. So please do reach out. Would love to make the connection. And more than anything, we want to personalize that experience for you. So we want to understand what you're looking for and see if those values align with us. We are very proud to have exceptionally strong academic curricula, and we're incredibly proud of how strong our faculty are. So please do come take a look.
I'm sure they'll keep that in mind. And with that, are there any events or any big things happening for the Elisabeth Morrow School going into this second half of the year?
Well, for families, we have a lot. For prospective families, we have a lot of open invitation, a lot of open events for families to come in to visit the school, to have the students visit the school. For our faculty, for inside the community, we have our galas coming up and a lot of opportunities to bring the community together so we can be whole. And when we bring people together, we're celebrating the faculty, we're celebrating community members, we're honoring people. So there are a whole host of events. And what we're also doing for our community, as well as open to anyone, is we have a speaker series. So we're bringing in highly diverse speakers on topics related to education, related to parenting. And these are an open invitation for anyone to come and join. So we encourage you to look at our calendar of events on our website and pick one that you feel you want to get connected to. And again, please do reach out so we can personalize that experience for you.
You've heard it all here today. Thank you so much for meeting with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and our viewers.
Thank you so much. It was an honor for me. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Us as well.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.